I think Laserbeak's chicken.
He'll have more to fear if he refuses to obey me.
I've always been intrigued with barbarian fantasy art, from Frank Frazetta to Mark Taylor's artwork for Masters of the Universe. I even enjoy most barbarian movies such as Deathstalker. I like to read Conan and Red Sonja novels. And for me personally, the best thing about playing retro games is being able to go back and play long-last barbarian titles, such as Golden Axe and the Legendary Axe. It's always fun to discover similar titles that have passed me by, like Vandyke. Vandyke is an arcade game that was released in 1990. Prior to my long play, I've never seen or heard of Vandyke before. Have you?
No.
Story-wise, Vandyke has a pretty unique story. No, I'm just kidding, there's no story in Vandyke at all.
You're pretty smart, huh?
There are 6 levels awaiting you in Vandyke, and for the most part, they're pretty easy to get through. The main level I had problems with would be this fire pit level. Personally, I hate games that require precise jumping, as I think I'm terrible at precise jumping in video games, especially when you have a ton of enemies attacking you the further you progress. Skeletons, giant scorpions, blobs, and genies with swords are some of the enemies awaiting you the further you progress in Vandyke. None of the enemies posed any threat during my long play, but a standout character that I came across is this character that looks like a cross-dresser with a flat top and a claw. One enemy that I hated was this flame-faced character. You can't do any damage to this fire demon, and once you get hit by him, he'll take a whole life from you. What a loser.
Watch your mouth. Yeah.
Most of the boss fights are pretty simple to get through. Hey, is that Megatron? But not this last boss fight. Boy, did I struggle with this guy. If you've seen my long play on Vandyke, you have noticed that this last boss fight looks so boring to watch. That's cause this last boss fight was so frustrating. When I recorded my long play, it came to a total of an hour and a half. Pretty much all of that time was spent on trying to defeat this boss. For all the boss battles in Vandyke, there is a weapon power-up available, but not for this last boss fight. It's just you and your sword.
Fine.
It's a nightmare of a boss fight. You gotta find the right spot to attack him, otherwise it's game over, man. I died over and over. It took me nearly an hour to figure out how to beat this boss. Even on my long play, I spent just under 10 minutes to claim victory over this battle. After this brutal boss fight, you get this end screen with some pretty cool music for you and your friends to rock out to. It took me an hour and a half to complete Vandyke for my long play. With editing, my long play for Vandyke is a bit over 43 minutes, and I'm happy with that. It could have been a lot shorter, but I'm just thankful that I was able to beat Vandyke cause it wasn't looking good. I did enjoy my experience with Vandyke. Playing as a barbarian pushing around skeletons and other weird monsters is always a lot of fun. And hey, I found a new barbarian game. I can't help to think that Vandyke would have been such a penny pincher back in the arcades. Did you play Vandyke in the arcades?
Oh. Retreat!
Anyways, I hope you enjoy my long play of Vandyke, and it'll explain how plain and boring this last boss fight looked on my long play. Later, dudes.